Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar session brought to you by Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, USA, and Shiksha.com. Students, this is an informative session about the Masters in Human-Computer Interaction program that is being provided by the university to all international students. And before we move further, I would like to introduce our presenters from the university. So we have with us Professor David Bolchini. He is the director for the Human-Computer Interaction Program. We have Mr. Dennis Sullivan. He's the assistant director of international admissions. And our third presenter from the university is Ms. Elizabeth Castle. She's the director of graduate affairs. Students, if you have questions that you want to ask our presenters, I will request you to please post your questions in the question section. We will take all the questions at the end of the session. If you wish to ask questions directly to our presenters, please click on the raise hand tab. Shiksha will unmute you and you can ask your questions directly to them. I will now request Professor David to please start with the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and good evening. My name is Davide Bolchini. I'm happy to be here and welcome all to this session. I am a professor and chair of the Department of Human-Centered Computing here at Indiana University, School of Informatics and Computing in Indianapolis. We are on the campus of Indiana University and Purdue University together here in Indianapolis downtown. I serve also as the director of the Human-Computer Interaction, HCI, Master and PhD program. And today we're going to talk about HCI and how it could be an exciting graduate educational opportunity and career opportunity for all students. First, I wanted to start to define what is the field of human-computer interaction. Some of you are already familiar with this area, some of you might not. And so human-computer interaction is a broad area, is a broad discipline that really has to do with the design, evaluation, and implementation of interactive systems. Imagine all digital information systems that we live with every day, from mobile to web to watches to digital environment and emerging environments, virtual reality, augmented reality. How to design this interactive system to optimize the user experience, for the user experience to be enjoyable, usable, and to support human growth. So what's the difference between HCI and computer science, a traditional computer science degree? Well, the metaphor I would use is the difference between engineering and architecture when constructing a building. You know, when we build a lived environment like a large building, typically we have two profiles at least of professionals. We have the engineers who build the building, and we have the architect who design the experience of people in the building. So this is the main difference between HCI and computer science. Computer science is the actual engineering of the systems, of the interactive system. HCI has to do with the architecture of the system, how the information flows is to be designed so that people can find the information they're looking for and can have a usable and enjoyable experience. The two disciplines work together. HCI professionals or user experience professionals need to work with computer scientists to power the next generation of interactive systems. But HCI specifically, to accomplish that, is a very interdisciplinary field that encompasses different methods from different subdisciplines. For example, HCI includes an understanding of the human factors, an understanding of the people and their psychology, the way they think, the way we reason and know things in order to design information system and meet our cognitive abilities. And of course, based on that, HCI encompasses the science of design. How do we represent ideas? How do we communicate ideas about interactive experiences? And how do you convey this idea to developers and to engineers who need to then implement these systems? So both computer science and HCI need to work together to develop next generation technologies. But HCI in particular has a very specific role. And the role is really that of designing interactive experiences to support human flourishing and societal flourishing. So in this view, from this perspective, our HCI students follow a very exciting journey. We have we have students coming from an undergraduate degree, either in electrical engineering or computer science or BTech degrees or design degrees. Through the master program in HCI that we offer, they then became interaction designer or product designer at Google, or senior user experience or UX designer, Samsung, Microsoft, VMware, or at Apple. So tech company do need and invest in HCI designers or product designer to really make their system usable and to shape the next generation of our experience with technology. Other example of our students come, for example, from computer science degrees, but also from journalism degree or sociology degree. Through a master of HCI, they are educated to become user experience professionals at companies like Salesforce, Amazon, Adobe, General Electric, Hewlett-Packard, really companies that really shape what the technology of the future would look like. So this is a very exciting field, and coming from different background through their undergraduate experience or their professional experience through a master of HCI, our students really are well aligned to secure a position in the growing user experience economy. And these are just some examples, and hopefully you will be able to connect to our students and to know more about what they're doing in our program and the great jobs they are getting. During the program, we have also the opportunity to kind of foresee, have a taste of the professional careers of product designers or user experience designer and researcher through internship experiences. An internship is typically a 1 semester or 2 semester experience in a company to work as an interaction designer. Is a paid experience that counts towards your degree requirements. These are some examples of our students who regularly secure internship during the program. They become, as you can see from some of the titles, interaction designers, product manager, product designers, usability specialists in companies in Indiana and in other parts of the United States, where they can experience this career while they are completing the master degree program. What does a user experience designer do, in a normal days at work? This is an example of one of our alumni, Kartik Rao, graduated in 2018 with a master in HCI. He's now an interaction designer at Google. He's enjoying the experience of working with an interdisciplinary team of other professionals as interaction designer to rethink, redesign the experience of YouTube. How do we view videos on YouTube? As you know, YouTube is part of Google. So as interaction designer at YouTube, Kartik tried to rethink and redesign, optimize the user interface of how videos are displayed, but not only how videos are displayed and interacted with. He tried to rethink also the surrounding elements of what you see on YouTube. He redesigned not only the navigation menus, but also how the comments are displayed for the user to engage with various comments in meaningful ways, while at the same time enjoying the content offered. So this interaction between the production of content, the viewing of comments, and the viewing experience is at the heart of what Kartik does every day. And he does that not only for the traditional web experience, but of course, YouTube has to work very well on a variety of platforms. What he designs with his team should work smoothly on your next generation smartphone, on your current smartphone, could work also on your watch, and could work also on next generation devices that might come to the market. So he works on the multi-channel viewing experience of YouTube. We have also several alumni who work at product designer at YouTube. We have also Richa Barali, who is a senior UX researcher at YouTube as well. So to do that, he really needs to talk to user, design the experience, makes prototype available both to user to test with them and understand how different alternatives of their design work well or not with how the user respond to those. As another example, our alumni Pushkar Joshi, he's a product designer at Walmart Labs. As a product designer, has to rethink how, for example, Walmart displays to employees the life cycle of their products, where their products are throughout the international supply chain. So he designed large-scale dashboard, viewable on large screen for Walmart product managers to understand how the supply chain for Walmart works to deliver the products to the various locations. So to do that, he has to talk to user, understand their needs, understand the various needs of the stakeholder in the organization, and create, invent solutions, sketch solution, design solution, and communicate to engineers and product managers and business managers how the solution might work in the organization, and iterate on this process to make sure that the kinds of systems that Walmart powers are usable and bring value to the organization. As another example, Joe Dara, one of our alumni, he's now a product designer at WhatsApp. As you know, WhatsApp is part of Facebook or Meta now. What does he do? In his day's work, Pushkar work on designing and rethinking the user interface of WhatsApp to make sure that when we attend to messages, we are not distracted by notifications, and during our daily work, we can silence notifications, but we still can engage with our social network. So it really works as an intersection between engaging with the social relationship and at the same time have a healthy habit, a healthy use of the application. To do that, he has to work with other people in the team to really test his ideas with users, conduct usability testing, sketch ideas, prototype ideas on paper, on cardboard, on the screen, and then generate workable prototypes with his team so that the user experience can be tested, evaluated, and eventually be brought into the next version of the product. I invite you to check the portfolio of some of our alumni who are now working in the industry. This is just some of the examples of the portfolio of projects that our alumni do while they were in the program and now that they are in the industry. And you can find many more of those on LinkedIn if you go on if you search for HCI Master IUPUI on LinkedIn. How do our students, what do our students study during the program to then embrace these emerging careers in HCI? We offer a cutting-edge curriculum based around a selection of core comprehensive courses that really covers the foundation of the field of HCI. We have, for example, to your left, foundational courses of interaction design practice and methods that cover the techniques to really engage users early in the design, in the architecture of interactive systems, how to prototype those systems, and how to evaluate those systems for optimizing usability and the user experience. We have also emerging topics, for example, how do designers work with ethical problems, how to design information systems that are not only usable but also ethical, that really respect user privacy, user dignity during the interaction. And how do we think about next generation of system, Internet of Things, connected devices that can bring value to the organization? How do we evaluate and design systems which are available to a variety of users? Also users with different abilities. For example, users who have difficulty looking at the screen because they are blind or visually impaired, or they have dexterity problem, they have muscular problems, or they are older adults who have difficulty in understanding and using sophisticated information systems. So how do we design for accessible technologies? Technologies available to all kinds of users in different contexts and environments. We have also courses that really enable user to understand how to design for emerging technologies. If you think about technologies that do not have a user interface, which is visual, but technology that you can interact with, such as Google Home or Amazon Alexa, through conversations, dialogue-based systems, intelligent assistants, which are now products which are more and more part of our ecosystems. All these courses are available to students to really become well-rounded professionals as product designers and product researchers in the user experience economy. We have also the opportunity for students to choose and customize their plan of study through elective courses, courses that you can choose to take at the Heron School of Art and Design if you want to have a deeper dive into design thinking, how designer works, or courses, for example, in AR, VR, how do you want to design and produce media applications that are usable and engaging. Our plan of study works on 4 semesters typically, fall and spring. We have both fall starting students and spring starting students. And in 2 years, the students are equipped to complete our master degree in HCI and land a full-time job upon graduation. What are the key traits of our program here in Indianapolis? We are lucky to be in the center of the state of Indiana, and we are the largest and most productive research urban university in Indiana. So we have the opportunity to collaborate with the companies in the city, and we have full-time professionals, user experience designers who come to our classes and teach our students what are the emerging trends in the industry and the method that the industry is using. So having professionals coming to the class is a key trait of our program, and that blends very well with our full-time faculty who are professional researchers in the field of HCI and can expose students, can engage students in cutting-edge research projects at the forefront of innovation of interaction design. So do we have this balance between theory, which are foundational for the students who have a lifelong career, and also the practice, which is happening now in the industry. We have a very diverse and international student body. Almost 70 to 80% of our student body are international students who come and are able then to access user experience position at the end of the master program. And we have also a very project-based practice pedagogy in the courses. Most of our courses involve doing projects, either in the classes with other students and with professionals and with companies while completing the coursework. We have also some online options for students to complete some courses in person, some courses online. For example, while they're doing an internship in the summer, they can take online courses to still progress into their plan of study. We're very proud to have a cadre of world-class HCI faculty doing research really at the forefront of innovation. These are some of the areas that our HCI faculty are working on at any given semester with our master students and PhD students in HCI in their labs. We have faculty working on novel methods of creating interactive experiences for older adults, for the blind and visually impaired, how to make ethical and socially acceptable decisions when designing information systems. We have faculty who are specializing in the areas of information visualization and visual analytics, how we make sense of a variety of items on a display to really optimize the user experience. We have also faculty who work in the areas of how do we interact with the information system beyond the mouse and keyboard by using our gestures, using body movement, and emerging technologies. So we have a variety of areas. At any given time, as I will explain, our students have the opportunity to work with faculty, not only in the classes, but in their labs as a research assistant or through engagement in research projects. One of the interesting traits of our cadre of research faculty is that all our faculty in HCI are funded by the National Science Foundation, which is the most prestigious federal agency in the United States who funds basic research in HCI. And we also have funding from Google through Google Faculty Research Awards to help our students and faculty really explore novel topics around these areas. What do students experience in our program beyond the classes? Beyond coursework, our students are proactive and reach out to fellow students, fellow alumni, companies in the cities, and national competitions available to them to really exercise and hone their UX, user experience design skills to create novel technologies. These are some of our examples. To the left, we have example of our students working with Starbucks head of product design to really rethink some of the ways the Starbucks design their products and their supply chain to really power the different retail stores across the United States. So they're designing Internet of Things solution using HCI methods in collaboration with Starbucks product teams. We have also students who won national competitions during their coursework, and these national competitions allow them to design next generation technologies for police and law enforcement agents on the ground by using voice interfaces to really access their data sets and their databases of the law enforcement in a more efficient ways. So they work with the city of Indianapolis, the city of Carmel, and law enforcement officer to test their ideas and their prototypes, and their winning projects won over $100,000 cash awards at the National Institute of Science and Technology competition in Washington, D.C. We have also alumni who, from our courses, embraced an AT&T. AT&T is the largest, one of the largest telecommunication company in the United States that offered a hackathon, a competition in the city. Our students won several prizes, top prizes, and cash prizes that competition by designing novel technologies to really leverage AT&T 5G high bandwidth networks. We have student experiences beyond the classroom that encompasses also Google Summer of Code. These are experiences where the students in the summer are engaged with Google to really engage with other students and hone their design and UX skills together with Google partners. And also, we have students who participate to regional competitions, for example, to design next generation healthcare technologies to make the communication between patients and hospital through mobile application smoother and more usable. Our students are very proactive and also are involved with different partners in the city, for example, firefighters in the city of Indianapolis, to design next generation heads-up displays while the firefighters go to a location to put out a fire. Our students design, in collaboration with them, novel displays technology to allow them to arrive to location faster and safely. In our program, our students have also the opportunity to engage with alumni, some of the alumni I mentioned before and others, through conversations. Could be online conversation or conversation on campus, where alumni who are students who graduated from our program and now work at these companies listed and others come and talk to our students to explain to them what are the trends in the industry, to give them tips and advice and share their experiences about how to prepare a great portfolio, how to prepare a great interview for a UX position in the companies where they work at. We have also an advisory board for our department with UX professionals and IT professionals from IBM Interactive, Salesforce, Google, Microsoft, Procter & Gamble, and others who provide guidance to our program to really shape and continue to update a state-of-the-art industry-ready curriculum, and also engage with our faculty and students in classroom projects and final projects for the graduation. I really invite you to connect with our current students by searching them on the LinkedIn network, MS HCI IUPUI alumni, and get to know them and ask them about their experience in the program. As to the logistics and the course of our program, of our master programs, we are a public institution here in Indiana, one of the top public universities, and we offer very affordable tuition to students. For out-of-state students, international students, this is an example of the cost of the tuition. Of course, this is for information only. Cost of the tuition might slightly change semester of the semester. But if you are interested in HCI and a master program, this is more or less the general picture, approximate picture of the financial cost to come and study here in Indianapolis at IUPUI. For example, if you take three courses per semester, which is a full-time enrollment for our international students, you will be taking 9 credit hours per semester. We have an approximate out-of-state tuition of $9,000 of cost per semester. To help you offset that course, we offer a generous package of a scholarship from the department to qualified students of approximately $2,250 per semester, and this helps offset the cost of the tuition. On top of the scholarship to qualified students, we offer the opportunity to work hourly as researcher teaching hourly employees in our department for 10 or 15 or 20 hours per week, providing basically an hourly stipend of $2,000 per semester or $4,000 per semester, depending on the number of hours. We have also the opportunity for students to apply to travel funding, to go to conferences, international or national research conferences, to present a research paper they co-author with faculty in our program. And so this package allows students to have a rewarding experience in the program while completing their coursework, and at the same time engage with our faculty in the courses and in their lab as a researcher teaching assistant. We have application deadlines for our master and PhD program listed here. We have Master of Science application deadline January 15 and then March 15 for regular admission students. But we have both fall and spring admission, and so we have students who start in the fall semester and students who start in the spring semester, and we have different deadlines for the specific admission cycles. Many students ask me, how can I prepare a great master application to be admitted to your program? Well, this is a great question. And when we as faculty evaluate master applications for students who want to join the cohort of our HCI master students, we typically look at several factors to determine whether a student can be admitted to our program. The most important factors is certainly the quality of the personal statement. The personal statement is the opportunity for an applicant to really articulate and explain how the applicant sees the field of HCI fitting their own career trajectory. What is in HCI that really interests you, and how do you see the field of HCI helping you to embrace the next generation of career opportunities in the field? So the personal statement, the quality of the writing, the quality of the thoughts is a fundamental signal for us to really understand the strength of a master application. We also look, of course, at the prior experience resume, as we said, the kind of bachelor degree that the student has been completing to then apply to the master program. We look at the GRE, at the GRE score, although this is not required at this time. So you may apply without having the GRE. Although if you do have the GRE, you are welcome to provide that. And we look at the score to see the general proficiency in various dimensions, such as writing, analytical thinking. But again, this is not required for master application at this time. We also look at the letters of recommendation. How do your peers, professor you work with, and other professionals evaluate and assess your potential to succeed in our program? And if you have example of work products, could be sample writings, could be projects you have completed in your undergraduate degree or another experience in the field, provide those as an example of the things that you've been most proficient in and can help in evaluate the application. So overall, we look at what is the promise to be really successful in our HCI graduate program. We have links here on how to apply. If you look for HCI IUPUI Master, you can easily find these links. And you can contact me if you have additional questions on our program. We have here on the phone also Elizabeth Castle, who oversees the admission process of our graduate program, and also Dennis Sullivan, who is assisting with the recruiting effort for our graduate program. I stop here, and I'm happy to take any question. Please, to write your question, write them in the chat so the Shiksha staff can manage the question and we can go through them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. David. And just reminding students again, students, if you have questions that you want to ask our presenters, please post your questions in the question section. And if you wish to ask questions directly to them, I will request you to please click on the raise hand tab. I will unmute you and you can ask your questions to them. So I'm going to start with a few live questions and then I'll move to the chat questions. So the first student I'm going to unmute is Harshvardhan Irangam. Harshvardhan, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, good evening. Actually, I have one question, but I did not completed my GRE. I had done my TOEFL exam only. Am I eligible for that?
Yeah, so GRE is not going to be required. So since you have a TOEFL score, you would need to submit that. And you would also need to submit your transcripts as well as your personal statement in order to be evaluated. So as of right now, GRE is not required. You do not have to submit it. It's great if you've taken it, but you don't have to take it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Harshvardhan. I'll move on to the next student. I'm going to unmute Vipul Budani. Vipul, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Is GRE required for spring 23?
It is not required for spring. Nope. Or right now, you would just need to submit your personal statement, any copies of transcripts, and you would just fill out the online application and you will go from there. So GRE is not required. Any proof of English proficiency will be required. We are now accepting Duolingo, by the way. So if you don't have a chance to take a TOEFL or an IELTS, we do now accept Duolingo scores for admissions into this program.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll move on to the next student. I'm going to unmute Samuel George. Samuel, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Samuel, please ask
Could
your
you hear
question.
me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. My CGPA is very low. It is a 5.57 on the 10 scale. Am I eligible? Hello.
Great question. So we do look at all the applications holistically, meaning we use the GPA as part of our consideration along with the letters of recommendation and excuse me, your personal statement. But generally we're looking for an equivalent of a grade of B average. So if it's much lower than that, your chances of getting in are not going to be as high as someone who has a B average. If you would still like to apply, I would encourage you to take the GRE, because if you do really well on the GRE, that could offset a lower GPA.
I completed, I gave my GRE exam also. I got 305 score.
Do you know what percentile that is? Sorry, I'm not.
305. My GRE score is.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure how that equates to the percentile scale. Like I said, if you're in like above the 50th percentile, that will really help your application if you have a lower GPA from your undergraduate transcripts.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, enough. Thank you. Thank you. My GPA is 50. My percentile is 52.
Oh, you're telling me the percentile. Okay. Like I said, we can't guarantee that that will get you admission because again, we really are looking for a grade of B average on your transcripts. Like I said, if you have those higher GRE scores and very strong letters of recommendation and a strong portfolio, you could still be considered.
Be sure to include anything work experience wise that we would be related to this type of study. I think that the review committee would find that very interesting as well.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. There was some error at my system. No problem. Okay, I'll move on to the next student. I'm going to unmute Jaswant Srikar. Jaswant, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, actually I'm from automotive engineering. So am I eligible for this domain? Like I don't have any prerequisites in this, but I'm currently doing some courses in Coursera. So am I eligible for this?
Yes.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes. So I can answer. We have, as I mentioned, students for a very diverse backgrounds in their disciplinary undergraduate programs or in professional experience. We have students also not only from computing, but also from design, social sciences, architecture, engineering fields. So definitely the automotive engineering area is a very interesting area that is really relevant, of course, to the driver experience and to understanding, how we optimize the control of the vehicle, and especially how we approach human AI interaction, right? So how we approach our intentionality and our sense of agency with respect to how the car, more and more automated cars, respond and take control. So it's a very emerging field. So I definitely recommend you to explain and articulate your experience in the automotive industry and see if there is any useful connection that you can draw between your experience, what you've done in the field, and the broader field of human-computer interaction. That would definitely be of interest and would paint a kind of cohesive picture of your career trajectory.
Okay, thank you.
I also wanted to jump in really fast. I heard you said you were on Coursera. So if you're taking some courses on there already, successful applicants usually have some sort of skill within JavaScript, Java, C++, or Python. So if you're already in there taking some of those courses, be sure to look for those specifically.
Yeah, okay, sure. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Jaswant. I'll take a few questions from the chat now. So I have this question from a student who is asking that only a BTech candidate can apply for this program, or a bachelor's in computer application student can also apply for the program.
Yes, bachelor in computer application can apply for the program. We have also BTech students, computer science students, IT students. So definitely, the examples I made are only examples. As you can see, there are a variety of degrees, but definitely an information technology student, computer application students can apply. We have also computer engineering student and other types of background. So yes.
But adding to this question from a student, Professor David, I wanted to ask that because the Bachelor's of Computer Application program is a 3-year program in India. So does the university accept a 3-year program for the master's?
I leave it to Elizabeth. I believe so, but Elizabeth can explain.
Yes, we do accept 3-year bachelor degrees for our program.
Great. Moving to next question. So this question has been asked by 2-3 students where they're asking, will artificial intelligence will be a part of, will be a module in this particular program?
Yes. So we do have a data science master degree in our department, which really focuses on AI and AI application. Is an applied data science degree. And so that program offers courses in deep learning, neural network, introductions to AI. And the students in HCI can choose those courses as some of their elective courses. Okay. So we do have students that take as elective courses in other programs, and AI is definitely courses open to them. So there are opportunities to take also AI courses. We do have courses in HCI that relate to the interaction between the human and artificial agents. So the course of psychology of HCI really also discusses our perception of artificial intelligent agents and how we interact with them. We also have conversational user interfaces, which is really about the design of the proper context of the design application of AI systems, which can enter in conversation with user in different tasks. So human AI interaction is really part of the HCI program. And if a student wants to dive deeper into the technical aspect of the AI algorithms, there is the applied data science courses in the applied data science degree program.
Okay. Okay. Moving to next question. So this question is regarding the job opportunities. So students are asking, can we, the programs which are into UX design and engineering, are these career career will part of, if we we take this particular program from the university, if a student wants to pursue a career in UX designing or engineering field?
Yes, this is what the program is for. This program is to shape the next generation of user experience researchers, designers, and engineers. Okay, especially with a master degree, you will be able not only to work as a developer, but you will be able to sit at the table of the decision making, of the strategic decisions of a product. So you will see several roles, different titles that our students have. Some titles are product designer or UX designer or interaction designers. Some titles are more centered on UX research, which is understanding the needs and modeling the needs and requirements of a systems. And other titles are more centered on UX engineering, which is at the interface between the design and the development. So definitely that's the focus of the program. It's a professional master program to prepare students to become UX researcher, designers, or UX engineers.
Okay. I'll move on to some live questions now again. So the student I'm going to unmute is Nishchal Srivastha. Nishchal, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, hello, good morning everyone there. So currently I would like to know if we can apply for the fall semester now. So is the applications open now?
We're actually not taking applications for this fall, but we have already started taking applications for spring 23. So those would be classes starting in January.
Okay. Thank you. My second question is related to how long will it take for the university to confirm and offer the invite letter as a process? So once we apply for the Purdue University.
Sure, that kind of depends on when you're applying. So for example, if you would choose to apply for this spring, those applications are due on August 1st, and you'll have your response around September 15th. For fall, it's a little bit different. We have like an early action deadline of January 15th for our fall 23 applicants, and usually it's about 4 to 6 weeks after that deadline that you'll receive your decision.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nishchal, for your question. Moving to next student, I'm going to unmute Nitesh Basnet. Nitesh, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello everyone, Namaste dear. Actually, I would like to know whether this university provides scholarship to the aspirants like me who is willing to study computer engineering.
Yes, we do provide a scholarship to admitted students. As I mentioned before, I can go back. This is an example of a scholarship package offered to admitted students. And this applies semester by semester upon full-time enrollment. So when a student enrolls full-time, takes 9 credit hours per semester, which is equivalent to 3 courses, we typically provide a scholarship every semester up to the 4th semester of the program. Does that answer your question?
My second question is, what are the procedure to apply for the particular scholarship scheme, and what are the criteria do I have to fulfill to apply for the scholarship?
So you're automatically going to be considered for the scholarship when you apply. So there's nothing additional you would need to do to receive the scholarship other than submit an application and let the review committee do their work. You just need to submit all the required materials and you would automatically be considered for the scholarship as well as those assistantship opportunities on campus.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nitesh, for your question. Moving to next student, I am going to unmute Swaroop Chakravarti. Swaroop, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, good morning there. I have applied recently for Purdue University Westlake, but looking at the human-centered computing program, I think I'm more suitable here working under cyber physical systems. I mean, I have a work experience of 6 years right now. And what kind of, so for submitting an application, what kind of letter of recommendations are required? And, do you need professional letter of recommendations or college level letter of recommendations? And is there any fee waiver for application?
Elizabeth, you want to start this one and then I...
Sure. You said that you have been in the working field as well. So, a professional reference would be appropriate of a supervisor that you have worked with. If you do have connections still with faculty members or research mentors from when you were doing your undergraduate degree, those would also be really encouraged for the review, but you could do a combination of both, especially since you have been in the working world. And anyone who is attending this webinar today, if you email my email, which is castle@iupui.edu, I will provide you with a fee waiver to apply.
Sure. That would be really helpful. And I wanted to know, like, what are there any, there are different verticals everybody are working on right now, like, if you consider the UI vertical where specifically people work on UI designer specific, and people working on embedded space for on this, like where there will be sensors coming into pictures. So I'm more interested in embedded related course. Is there any subject that I can opt for human-centered computing program with specific to embedded systems?
So we do have, as I said, elective courses that, for example, a student can take in the School of Engineering and Technology. They have computer engineering programs. They have electrical engineering program. They have a very renowned center on transportation and AI in transportation, especially focused on active safety, especially in cars and embedded devices in the car, in the automobile. And so, as I mentioned before, these are some examples also of verticals that you can explore in courses which are offered in the ecosystem on our campus. So students can go take courses in engineering upon approval as part of their electives if they want to dwell specifically into that area. But in the HCI program, we do not offer from our program courses in embedded systems.
Okay, got it. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Swaroop, for your question. I'll move on to the next student. I'm going to unmute Muskan. Muskan, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello everyone. Actually, I just want to know that I did my master's in psychology. So will I eligible for this? Because according to me, I'm just from different background.
Yes.
It is necessary to have a background related to the computer science, like some people have BTech, automobiles and engineering background.
Yeah, definitely. Psychology is one area. As you can see here, we have, for example, a student who came to our program with the BA in psychology. Through our master program, he became an interaction designer at Adobe. So Adobe, as you know, is the company who powers, Adobe Acrobat, all the creative suites from Photoshop, Illustrator. So it's a large player in the creative software ecosystem. So this is an example of a pathway: psychology students, interaction design and technology company. So,
but sir, I didn't did my bachelor in a psychology. I did my master in a psychology.
yes, even better. I think you have already been exposed to graduate courses, graduate degree, so to kind of research-driven, research-based graduate courses. So definitely that's a very appropriate background for a master in HCI student.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Muskan. I'll take the next question now. I'm going to unmute Ramandeep Rekhi. Ramandeep, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you so much to give me an opportunity. Actually, I wanted to know about my son's education. He is yet to give higher secondary in May exams. So he will be 17 years of age in July, and I want him to get him enrolled in BSc Computer Science. So will it be possible for him to join there?
Yeah, so we do have 17-year-olds who started as freshmen in an undergraduate program, so it's definitely possible. What you would need to do, though, is during the application process is work with the Office of International Affairs just to make sure everything is fine, since he will technically be a minor when he arrives in the country. So it is possible. We've had even 16-year-olds start in the past, some of those high achievers as well. So it is definitely doable. And you can work with the Office of International Affairs to make sure it goes well.
Okay, can we know that how much it will cost around approximately?
For an undergraduate program?
Yeah.
Yeah, before scholarships or anything like that, it would be approximately $48,000 with tuition and living expenses. That's if you're living in one of our more expensive dorms on campus. And then from there, for undergraduate international students, there are also scholarships that are going to be based on a combination of GPA and English proficiency scores. So those scholarships automatically will range from $10,000 a year up to $18,000 a year. Just like with graduate applications, you're automatically considered for scholarships when you apply. So when you receive your admissions letter, you would know about those costs and you would know already how much has been taken out when you get admitted.
Okay. What all I need to do? Can I apply directly to the university, or do I need somebody to help me out?
Yeah, you can apply online anytime you want. You have two choices in undergrad. You can either apply directly to the university through the Apply IU system, or you are able to apply through the Common app, which allows you to apply to a bunch of universities around the country as well. All you have to do is just submit the materials and pay the application fee, and then your son would be considered.
Okay. In which month it will be starting now? Because in most probably in July or August he will be getting his result out.
Yeah, you can already start the application now. They can use some of the unofficial scores at that point for the admissions process. So I would recommend to apply sooner rather than later, just to help work through any kind of visa issues at this point. Especially if you're trying to start this fall. If you're trying to start next spring, you've got a lot more time to work with. But if you're trying to start this fall, I know that there have been some backlogs in some visas, so sooner is always going to make it setting you up for success more.
Okay, and if I take it for myself, I am double masters and double bachelors. I have degree,
Wow.
2 degrees in bachelor and 2 masters. So can I go in for some 1-year MBA course?
Did you say an MBA course?
Yeah.
We don't have a 1-year MBA course on our campus, unfortunately. You could try checking out IU Bloomington perhaps, but I think theirs is also going to be more than 1 year as well.
Ms. Ramandeep, you can get in touch with the Shiksha counseling team. They will be able to help you out with your queries regarding other programs. This session is specifically for the human-computer interaction session. So we would like to, move to the next student, and we will take the last question. And you will be contacted by the Shiksha counseling team, and you can ask your queries regarding other programs with them.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I'll take the last question for this session. I'm going to unmute Torab Sheikh. Torab, please unmute yourself and ask your question. I think there is some connectivity issue. Student, I cannot see the student there, but I'll take question from the chat.
Are you able to hear me?
Oh yes, yeah, Torab, please ask your question.
So there are 2 things that I want to ask. What is the cost of living there, and can we finish the program in like 1 year or 1.5 years?
What is the first question? Sorry, I didn't understand.
What is the usual cost of living there?
He's asking for the cost of living there, the usual cost of living
beyond tuition. Maybe Elizabeth, Dennis.
Yeah, if you wanted to answer the other one, let me get the cost of living, the most recent estimates really fast.
All right, I'll start with the second question then. Can you complete the program in less than 4 semesters? So typically the degree requirements is 36 credit hours. Okay, 36 credit hours is basically 12 courses. Each course is a 3 credit hour course. So we do encourage students to take 3 courses per semester. Why? Because every graduate course entails a workload between 9 to 12 hours a week of work, including attending classes, engaging in projects, writing the assignments, working with the client, studying material, doing the reading, doing the quizzes, the assignment, etc. So graduate courses are intensive, high-paced, fast-paced courses. So taking 3 graduate courses per semester really occupies most of your time during the week, okay? On top of that, typically a student can work 10 hours per week as hourly research or teaching assistant, as I explained. The 2 things together is really a full-time engagement of a student. Now, during the summer, you have more time available because the summer is the opportunity for students to do an internship, and the internship could be full-time or part-time. But during the summer, you can also take some elective courses or some core courses, maybe online, which are shorter, okay? So there are cases in which if a student takes some more classes in the summer, maybe they can do less courses in a given semester, right? But I have not seen recently students who complete the program in less than 4 semesters, because in the last year, in the second year of the program, you have to take a 1-year final project, capstone project. in which you work with an external client, an external company over a 2-semester long final project. And this is a project in which is the culmination of all your learning in the program, right? So the first year, 2 semester, is foundation and methods. The second year typically is completion of the coursework, elective and final projects. So overall is a 4-semester path.
I was able to pull the most recent estimates for you in terms of cost of living. For 9 months, so the academic year, it's going to be approximately $13,000 for living expenses, which is going to include, food, rent, everything like that. So that plus tuition, you're looking at about a total cost of $36,000 per academic year. When you're working with the Office of International Affairs for getting your visa to come into the country, you're going to be needing to show approximately that amount in terms of funding in order to receive the visa.
And I will comment as well, we give an estimate for kind of like all students about how much those rent and utilities will cost, but it's been my experience talking with our students that they spend a lot less than that.
Right.
Generally, we're seeing students who have sharing rental costs with roommates and things like that, and that's definitely on the very high side of a living expense. So kind of keep that in mind when you're thinking about Indianapolis. Actually has a very low cost of living compared to some other major cities in Indianapolis or in America. We're close to Chicago, about 3 hours away, and their cost of living is very high. So it's always something to consider when you're looking to study abroad about how much money you'll be spending on things like rent and food. And we do have a low cost of living for being the capital of our state.
Yeah, thanks for that, Elizabeth. Those estimates are based on living alone. So if you do have roommates, that cost is going to start to decrease quickly.
Okay, thank you so much. With this, we have come to the end of the session, and I know there are still a lot of questions that we were not able to take, but do not worry, students. Your details will be shared with the university plus with the Shiksha counseling team here, and your queries will be answered by them. You will also be contacted by the Shiksha counseling team, who will help you further with your application process, or help you with your queries regarding admissions, applications, scholarship, durations. So do not worry, you will be contacted. And with this, I would now like to end the session. I would like to thank all three of our presenters from the university. I would like to thank Professor David for doing such a wonderful presentation and with so much, such an informative session for all of us, and Dennis and Elizabeth for taking out time and answering student queries. And thank you so much once again. Thank you so much, students, for joining us, and I hope that your queries were answered. Before I end the session, I would request if Professor David would like to share something with the keynotes with the students that can really help them with the decision making while they are planning to apply for the program.
Yes, thank you for attending the session. The HCI field is a very exciting area at the intersection of emerging technologies, users, and society. And so I'm very excited to see our students and future students embracing this area to really make a difference then in the world through their user experience profession. So if you're interested to know more, feel free to reach out to me or Elizabeth or Dennis if you want to know more about our program and how to apply, and we'd be happy to answer your question and also connect you to alumni who can share their experience.
Thank you so much, Professor David. And with this, I would now like to end the session, and I would like to thank everyone for joining us. Have a great day, Dr. David, Dennis, and Elizabeth there, and have a great evening to all the students. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Be safe, and bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. Great questions.